Some jobs are just not worth having. Some jobs are not worth having. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. I'm a 63-year-old college student, and one of my assignments this week was to do a discussion forum. And somebody shared in that discussion forum about a job that they had that they ended up getting fired from. And I really, really thought that that was so very, very interesting. And they told the background and the backstory and the reasons for it. And I got to thinking about my own life, and I've had some incredibly fabulous jobs in my life. I mean, really, really fabulous. And yet, I've had a few jobs that were anything but fabulous, anything that was far less than fabulous, because when you get on a bad job, a job that is just awful, you can become vulnerable to that job, to the whims of that job, to the personality of that job, to the problems of that job. And I remember two jobs in particular, without going into detail, that I quit, that I just simply quit because the environment was so toxic and so bad. And I am so glad that I did. Now, sometimes you just can't up and quit a job. You have responsibilities, you have bills to pay, maybe you're even obligated on a contract with that job. So you may not just be able to just quit the job just like that. But sometimes you can. If you've saved up enough money for your bills and you don't have a contract to that job, well, I believe in leaving a job the right way. That's with a notice and on a good note. I always say leave your job on a good note, so hopefully you can use that as a reference. But some jobs it's almost near impossible to leave it better than when you came in or whatever. Some jobs are just toxic. They're just dysfunctional. They're just awful. And when you get into one of those, I think some jobs are not worth having. And so for me personally, I remember looking back on those jobs and they weren't worth having. The stress that they had put me under was just terrible, just terrible. And I'm so glad. Now, that was, of course, when I was very, very young. And I quit those jobs. And that was a great thing that I did. I quit those jobs. One of the jobs that I had, I was working a night shift. And it wasn't a bad job, but it was a job also that wasn't going anywhere in my life. Now, this is different than those other two jobs. And I remember being so dissatisfied on that job. It paid the bills. It wasn't a bad job, but it wasn't a great job either. And it wasn't my dream job. And so I began putting applications in, and I ended up getting my dream job. And so I left that job on a good note, and I left it. And I went to my dream job, and well, that was how I met my husband. Long story short, I put myself where I belonged. I put myself where I was happy. I put myself where I could thrive. I put myself in a great situation. And so some jobs are just not worth having. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.